Hi everyone, it's Sunday, November 18th, and it's time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vice President Vera Dordick. From Italy this week, European editor Andrea Guolo writes about the UK market and the issues currently plaguing British sellers. Among European cows, Andrea says that low prices are what's currently driving demand, and he notes that supply will continue to be more than plentiful on cows. With regard to bulls, Andrea says that water purification is still an issue with tanning in Arzignano, and he details what is happening there with regard to various hide origins. In his analysis for the week, Andrea discusses attending an international meeting and the discussions he had there with tanners who say that today's market is highly competitive and has fewer customers. He also goes on to explain all the factors involved and what that will mean for the leather industry in Europe and in Italy in particular. In the United States, it was a bad week, with steer prices down sharply. Sellers had to bite the bullet and accept bids below last sales levels. They need to move hides, so this was inevitable, and their forward sold positions have completely eroded. Taking a look at heavy Texas steers in particular, sales were once again at low volume, and by the end of the week, sales had dropped $4 from last week's highs, with prices at $32 on the latest sales. Other selections had an equally bad week and some even worse, so read this week's report to get the details on the remaining categories. We can recycle last week's comments on the export report because once again, slaughter exceeded sales and shipments, and it seems to be pretty much the case every week for most of this year. Finally, in our market observations, Don writes that we should not at all be surprised by the declines of the week, and he details all the reasons why, so you'll want to check that out. From Latin America, editor Ronald Guiel says that raw material prices remained stable after a couple of weeks of decline. TR1 also remained stable. On the contrary, other origins in Latin America saw some declines this week, so be sure to check your report for the details. In other news from Brazil, October shoe exports had their best month of the year with volume up more than 12% and value up 31%. We also have some items on the country's cattle slaughter and a variety of other topics. Elsewhere in Latin America, we have cattle slaughter data from Argentina, Colombia, Paraguay, and Uruguay this week, along with news about footwear sales and exports in Mexico. That's all we have for this week, so until next Sunday night, good night from HideNet.